What's going on? It's like some of the like hand positions in like a kung fu scenario, like open handed, like that right there. Like what that's kind of like in the shape of. That ain't You ain't necessarily gonna hit no one like that. But that's kind of like the shape of catching like someone's wrist. Like if they punch at you, then you turn this way. Naturally, you can catch their wrist and then transfer their forward movement, and you put a little bit of backwards movement into their forward movement as they're coming at you. So you just turn, look, you turn, you capture the arm with both hands. So bam, from there. That's not really like a striking position. It's like catching. It looks like football. Like, look, hey, throw me the football. You know what I'm saying? Football. You know what I'm saying? In a way, catching a fist that's coming at you. Someone punches. You can catch their arm, pull it back, push it to the sides. You know what I mean? So open-handed, like really what it's about is you got your hand pre-positioned, like when you touch, and then as you tug back, you got like a certain different. You can grab the flesh. Like look, you can grab into the skin. Look, I got a hold of nothing but skin right there, or you can get a hold of the whole arm in a grab. So even like this, you come in, catch there, you got that tug on the down. You tug back down. It's kind of like you want to get around the bone of the arm, and then like on the way in, you come in like that, but then on the way out, you turn your hand in. When it's coming in, it's like you're trying to point in, but on the way out, it comes out like a hook. You know what I'm saying? And you can kind of manipulate people's joints, their arms with these different hand positions. I mean, you know what I mean? You don't want to just run like that. These fingers right here, you don't want to just go ahead and try to stab into someone's heart through their chest. You might, through their sternum, you probably will break your fingers. But if you go in someone's eyeball, your fingers would be straight. You know, and pretty much I doubt they'll want to fight after that. You could even fish hook someone with that. Get inside of their mouth, yank their cheek, push this way on their face, yank back the other way at the cheek. Ha! You know what I'm saying? I mean, hypothetically, I wouldn't go that far to stick my fingers in someone's mouth. And I mean, you know what I'm saying? Unless it was Mad Max scenario. You know what I mean? But, so, I think a lot of that stuff is kind of like misunderstood. Or even like having your hands out like this. Really, when they swing at you, you move out of the way and you bash them with forearms. You bash their forearm and then yank back and tear backwards and then grab with the other hand. So they're not really for striking. You can use them for striking, but they're really, you get your hands positioned in to grab, to seize. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, people don't understand the power of seizing. You know what I'm saying? They understand, you watch UFC, you see the power of striking. You know what I'm saying? And grappling, you know what I'm saying, and throwing and slamming, and submission. But you don't see them like seizing and tearing on each other, really. For one, because of the gloves are weird. I think it's probably illegal as well. But I mean, this is a different kind of like fighting method. Like if you look at someone, find their nipple, go 2 inches in and up, 2 inches out, and then down below. That's one way you could just stab yourself in the chest. Ooh. See, you can find these spots that they're just extra sensitive. That's the spots. If you hit people in them spots, it's like, all right, where I learned the pressure point kung fu system, I mean, just by accident. This black dude down in St. Petersburg, he had dreadlocks. He looked like the Predator. You know what I'm saying? One day I put him in this hand lock, and he was like, oh, okay. And he went like this, man. And he was kind of like bouncing like this, and he kept stabbing me. He kept hitting me, and I was trying to block him, and it didn't hurt too much. And he was like, yeah. He goes, that's that Cobra. You know what I'm saying? And then the next day, like when I went to get up, I was like, oh. And I had all these like little tiny bruises, like little pin bruises all over my chest piece. You know what I'm saying? And there was a residual pain there. You know what I'm saying? Like I was I could take note of it, and I see that stuff does happen, especially like when you start doing those kind of weird hit grabs. It'll leave like distinctive bruisings, and you can almost see like if you push it so far, you could, this dude told me you can just sear off the flesh, man, with the right grab. This karate dude, and he grabbed this little loose skin on my neck, and he grabbed that and he like twisted it, and he's like, from right, he goes, I could kill you right now, you know that? You know what I'm saying? Look, someone did that to me. They went, I could kill you right now, you know that? You know what I'm saying? So, and he could have believed that. I was like, it was a different kind of it was a different kind of fighting. I've never saw it before. But I mean, and this was a karate dude. You know what I'm saying? So at the top level of karate, they must teach you the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or some of the same techniques, man. The grabbing, like I was saying about like fish hooking, pushing this way while pulling this way. You see that effect? That 10 times 10 effect, opposite directions. So that karate dude was aware of that as well. You know what I'm saying? It's same thing there, man. Like another thing, like when you like say someone goes to hit you, or they even go to try to grab you and put your hands on you. There's like certain spots in the arm. If you stab your fingers into it and kind of like and put some pressure down on it, it's like it's like a point where it burns your muscle out quick. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. It's like just a reaction, kind of like when you lift weights and your muscles get all kind of, they feel all big, but they're kind of sore. So like when you move them, you can feel that residual kind of like something in there is like been worked. Same thing. You can apply this certain pressure. You can just push into your arm. Same thing. Push into your bicep from the top right there. You find the spot on your body. Normally, by going like this, moving your wrist with your hand on your body, you can feel where there's tension and where it relaxes when you move the arm. So you just follow them lines down to the wrist, even in the wrist, forearm. You can feel in there. So now I know when I strike someone in that line that I feel tensing right here, that it has an effect on that motion. You know what I'm saying? So every time they move like that, they're going to feel that residual just sting. They'll go away after a while, but you can just take note of all these little spots. And by practicing on yourself, just by stabbing yourself in with the finger, you know what I'm saying? On different points of the body, find the ones that they tickle or they sting or that you feel pressure, tingling. You look for the spots that have more, you get more reaction out of, and then that's how you find the nerves, basically. You know what I mean? And everyone's nerve points are in a similar spot. You know what I mean? But since everyone's like length of the bone is different, so the connective tissue, the muscle is going to be different. So it's not going to be exactly in the same spot. But I'd imagine there's probably a mathematic ratio, you know what I'm saying, on everyone. Like if you just learn the right formula, the spots will probably come out in a similar area. Like, yep, see this muscle up here on this bone? When I make a fist like that, if you just tag that a few times, like you chop, like say I went to go grab, you kept chopping down on that spot, say I let you get me a few times, it's going to, see already, just from me hitting myself, it's slowing down my ability to make a fist. And even when I make a fist, it's like there's a hesitation because this muscle's been like triggered, man, and it's kind of like dead for a minute. You know what I mean? It's weird, but you can just experiment. You just go look at, you can look at acupuncture, acupressure, massage, things like that also are similar, or chiropractic, things like that. It's just anatomical knowledge. Sometimes they overlap, you learn one kind of body science. You know, you can apply it to a different one. You know, it's part of this understanding, at least where I'm at. You know, I'm not, look, I'm still just novice. Uh, but I mean, it's like I've learned a lot about things, and it's like there's a lot of practical applications to some of this knowledge. You know, so it's worth people being trained in. You know, just for just beneficial. For one, for just knowing, you know, it builds confidence, knowing that you know what you know. You know what I mean? And then sometimes when you know, you could surprise people. You know that it doesn't matter what you look like. That doesn't really, people really don't know what you know just by looking at you. You know, and you can always surprise people by knowing all this. Just over time, just collecting these little this little science, little techniques, little therapeutic practices, and it's like by for instance, you just grab someone's arm and barely squeeze it, and you can make them jump. I mean, it's just kind of like, you know how when they hit your knee, the doctor hits your knee, and then your foot moves. You know, you can, that doctor, that little knowledge right there. You know, that's the same thing. You know, like mostly only doctors know about that. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's why you call it a science, because it's uh I bet you a lot of those martial artists, like nerve guys, knew about that knee jerk response too. You know what I mean? Or the funny bone reaction when you clack your funny bone in the wrong area. It's like your whole arm goes numb and it burns. You know, it's just anatomical knowledge, and a lot of time people learn the stuff by accident. You know, and but a lot of the times, you know, people do teach this stuff. This is it's a crazy subject. If you go look into just science, medicine, doctors, look all the way into the past, all the crazy stuff they did to people, trying to learn more about this stuff. So I mean, there's deeper levels and even more sinister applications of the stuff. You know, it wasn't all about uh, in the name of helping people, medicine, because this is also like, this is medicine practice. It's a medical practice, you know, as well as a self defense practice. You know what I mean? It's got it like it's got dual purposes. You know what I mean? And I'm sure, you know, most people who study this type of stuff and try to practice it, you know, they're aware of that. It's crazy. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's basically most life is just like that. You know, everything. Uh, there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things, and the right way to use something the wrong way. Uh, so you can look out at society and see that reoccurring theme there. Like, but yeah, you just look into ancient doctors, man. Like and or just hospitals, like hospitals from the 1800s. Just look into that, and it's a scary it's a scary subject. You know what I mean? And nowadays, you know, they try to dumb you down to the fact like how scary uh, the practice of medicine has been. You know what I mean? And all the quack action that came out of it as well, dude. As well as cool things that came out of it, life extension, life enriching. There's also been some other quackery that really, you know, that messes people up, man. So you just get to be aware of that. That's looking at it honestly. You can see it's went both ways. It's been used right, wrong. It's empirical data. You can see other people, you know, that it can be proven. There's documentation, uh, evidence preserved. Uh, but it's not everyone wants to know all this stuff. They ain't got all the extra, uh, just brain